Nutrition on the bike is one of my favorite things to talk about and one of the things I am most passionate about when it comes to cycling, because I believe that cycling nutrition can really change the level of your cycling. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not trying to be a health guru by any means. All the nutrition that I'm talking about is tried, true, and tested. The pros are doing it in the pro peloton at rates that we've never seen before, and it's making the pros go faster and faster. There's nothing weird about this nutrition. It is just like backed by science. I've done it in my own cycling journey and seen massive improvements. Something that I am continuing to work on all the time, and I'm always trying and testing it. So one key thing that you need to know about nutrition: do not do anything on event day that you have not done in training. That is very key to a lot of things in cycling, but our stomachs can be sensitive, especially when cycling. We're putting a lot of stress and load under our bodies. So please practice your nutrition before the day of the event. I always have nutrition with me on every single bike ride, regardless. We will get into that. But a lot of people, myself included, when I first started cycling was, ooh, I have a gel. I want to save that for race day. I want to save that for when I really, really need it. No, do not do that. I've seen too many people have very upset stomachs on race day because they didn't practice their nutrition. They can't handle it. It's something that you need to work on and get better at continually, just like everything else in cycling. So please do not do anything on race day that you have not done in training. I am very big on that. So what type of nutrition am I talking about? I am talking about carbs. We love carbs, right? Carbs are your best friend on the bike. Carbs, carbs, carbs. Very simple. That is it. Carbs. Nothing else is important on the bike. That is coming from me and the people that I have listened to and what I have tried. Protein is not important on the bike. It's only going to slow digestion. Fiber, not important on the bike. Again, it's going to hinder digestion. Fats, not important on the bike. I'm talking on the bike. Those things can be handled off the bike after the ride to help with recovery. Again, carbs can really help with recovery after your bike ride, but carbs on the bike are your best friend. So what are the options for carbs on the bike? First up, this is a carb drink mix. This is Formula 369. This is one of the cheapest things on the market. That's why I love Formula 369. I've tried a lot of drink mixes out there. Formula 369 is like making it yourself. You can make DIY carb drink mixes. Formula 369 is basically the same price and they just do all the mixing for you. I do have an affiliate code if you want to try it for a little less money. You can check it out in the comment description below. Again, this is something that I use. I don't get paid to promote them. I can just get a little bit back if you buy something, but I use it every time I ride. So it's 369 because it's one scoop has 30 grams of carbs, 2 scoops has 60 grams, 3 scoops has 90 grams of carbs. This is a 1-to-1 glucose to fructose ratio, which just means it has a mix of kind of short-term energy and some long-term energy. It has sodium in there, so you get your electrolytes as well. This is your mix. And why I recommend this to beginners is because you don't have to pull anything out of your pockets and you don't have to rip anything off or take your hands off the handlebars. That can be a big hindrance to people eating on the bike. This, you just put it in a water bottle. This is unflavored too, so you're not gonna get any weird taste with it. And I recommend it to beginners because it's safer just to take a hand off and grab a water bottle. Okay, so that's why I really like this. Now, in terms of what you should be using out on a bike ride, an easy bike ride for me per hour of riding, 30 grams of carbs. Medium ride, 60 grams of carbs per hour. A hard training ride, I am in that 80 to 90 grams of carbs per hour. Racing, I am over 100 grams of carbs per hour. That seems like a lot. I can't eat too much on the bike that I don't burn out on the bike. So in a race, in an hour, sometimes I'll burn over 1,000 calories. And if I put in 120 grams of carbs, 1 gram of carb is 4 calories. So that's 480 calories. I'm just at like half of the amount of calories that I still need to put back in my body when I'm done with the race, of course, to get back to what I just burned. So carbs on the bike will not make you fat. I promise you that. Please do not use the bike as a diet. Fuel your rides, you will see incredible gains. And this is one easy way to get those carbs in your body, in your water bottle. Put 2 scoops in there, 60 grams of carbs, 1 water bottle per hour, something like that. Another way to get carbs in your body are gels. And these are gels from a bunch of different brands and they all have different amounts of carbs in there. They are different flavors. depending on what you like and what you try. So this recently has been one of my favorite gels, Carbs Fuel, because it's wildly basic. 50 grams of carbs per gel. So you, again, for people who don't want to take their hands off the bike, one gel, 50 grams of carbs. That's a lot. You put one scoop of carb mix in there, you're at 80 grams of carbs per hour. So it's very easy. And this is one of the cheapest gels out on the market. I like to keep things reasonable. I like to keep things cheap. I don't want to spend a boatload of money on nutrition. Even though I find it very valuable, I still want to bring the price down because there's low cost alternatives that are very, very, very good. I'll get into some DIY options later on too. SIS is another brand that I really, really enjoy. I've liked them for years. I like their flavor. These usually have 20 grams of carbs in them, so you need to eat a little bit more or have more in your bottle. There's another brand, Amax. I'm just showing that there's different brands out there. 30 grams of carbs. Another one that I like is Precision Fuel, 30 grams of carbs. Find a brand that works for you. I would say SIS and carbs are the one that I'm gonna recommend because the price of them, and I like the way they taste and the way that they work in my body. Like these as well, a little bit more expensive though, so I don't expect everybody to do that. So why are gels super popular? Well, they can fit in your jersey pocket very easily. It's easy to bring these along on a ride, and then you just rip the top off and you suck it down. You can get it in your body very quickly. That's why I like that. And when I come to cycling nutrition, I want things that are very easy to open and eat out on the road. If you think about that, your mouth's gonna be a little bit more dry on the road. You also wanna be paying attention. You have your hands on your handlebar. So you want things that are easy to open and that you don't have to chew too much. I think a lot of people try to use, I'll call it real food out on the bike. Totally fine to do that, but when you use real food, you want options that are easy to open and not too chewy. So like a nut bar out on a bike, you know, like a trail mix bar. Hard to chew out on the bike. I wouldn't recommend that. Cliff Bar is a good option of real food, easy to open, easy to chew, but something like a Nutri-Grain bar, probably gonna dry out your mouth a little bit. Tough to chew, especially with a dry mouth. So in terms of real food, there's bars like this that are small. They're smallish, so you can eat them quickly. They tend to have a little bit more moisture in them, and they pack, I think this has 30 grams of carbs in it, something like that. So they pack a lot of carbs in a small bar. Again, a Cliff Bar is a very good option if you want real food out on the bike. Now, some DIY options, because there's some great DIY options out there. If you want a carb mix, I have one in the link below on a DIY carb mix. You gotta buy it all yourself and mix it. I would say Formula 369, a little bit better. You don't have to mix it yourself, and it comes prepackaged and nice. I'm a dad, I don't have a ton of time anymore. I'm sure a lot of people out there like yourselves are dads. It's fathers for the fatherless, and every little minute is precious in our lives. So DIY option, carb mix below. Also, real food, rice cakes, EF Education is a pro team. They have a great recipe on making your own rice cakes, which they are not the dry, crusty rice cakes. They're very, very tasty, soft, have a lot of moisture in them. That's a weird word to say for food, but it's true. They're delicious. You can make them yourself. That is linked below as well. And then in terms of gels, two things that I have used is maple syrup. Maple syrup at Aldi you can get for like $5. And if you put that in a reusable gel flask, you can Google gel flask and find those. Or, I'm not saying it's food grade safe, so do with that what you will. At Target, you can get the TSA approved kind of like squishy shampoo bottles. Fill that with maple syrup or honey. Those are two great options. They have a lot of carbs in them. They're very easy to get down. So those are the cheapest ways to do nutrition with the DIY options. But again, Formula 369 and the carbs gels, those are kind of the cheapest things out on the market that I've found and tested that I really enjoy. The Carbs Fuel I get from thefeed.com. Personally, I do a lot of social media stuff. I have worked with the feed for a while. I really like the feed because you can see nutrition holistically. You can see recovery, you can see before, you can see after. Now, one thing I do want to touch on is a lot of people think that they do not need carbs, that they just need electrolytes and sodium. LMNT would be a popular brand that a lot of people go to. I think it has 1,000 milligrams of sodium in it, and electrolytes, and very few calories and sugars. Just do not do that. Now you have to take that and try it yourself, but you are missing out on gains if you are not putting carbs in your body. Carbs are fuel for yourself in cycling. So if you're only fueling with electrolytes, you just you are not going to be as successful as you can be. And I've seen that in my own life. When I first started cycling, the first couple of years, I'd get done with a ride and I was just like, I was beat, I was tired, and I was like, I just need to train more. I'm just not in shape. That is not the case. I don't bonk anymore. It's not because I have incredible shape. It's because I'm very serious about my nutrition. I also know my limits, so there is that factor, but carbs are going to take you to new levels of cycling. I can almost 100% guarantee that carbs will take you to new levels of cycling. I'm such a believer in them. There's nothing weird about carbs either. They're a very, very like tried and true form of energy. And now pro cycling in the past 3, 4, 5 years has taken this on as well. And every pro that you talk to says that the peloton, the group of riders, is getting faster than ever before. And it's not because what Lance Armstrong was doing, it's because they're taking in carbs at 120 grams per hour in races. Like there's some other reasons that the pros are getting faster, but carbs is one of the main reasons that they are getting faster. Geraint Thomas, Tour de France winner, on his podcast said back in the day when they were training, he's been around a while, he's I think getting close to 40. Back in the day when they were training, they would almost brag about a 5-hour bike ride where they didn't eat anything and they didn't bonk. And he can't comprehend that anymore, that they used to train like that. Now they train with so many more carbs, and it's just fueling them to go faster and faster. And races are way more explosive in the beginning of the race because people have the energy to carry that throughout the entire race. So again, I've seen that in my own cycling. I don't want to be like a health guru person. That is not what I'm trying to come off as here. But carbs have made a massive difference in my own riding, and I really think carbs can make a big difference for all these riders who are doing the fathers or fatherless, and it can make you feel stronger at the end, but can also fuel your training. So please use carbs in training. Easy ride, 30 grams of carbs. Hard ride, 60 grams of carbs. Race, 90 grams of carbs. I think for this ride specifically, somewhere in that 60 to 70 grams of carbs per hour on event day, maybe 80 grams is probably what most people are gonna need, I would say. But in training, please use carbs and test it out. Don't do anything on race day that you have not done in training. Please reach out to me with any questions that you have about carbs or brands that you are thinking about trying. Again, Formula 369, I get a little bit of a cut if you buy it. Otherwise, I do not get paid to promote their stuff. I don't get paid to promote the feed or any of the gels that I brought up. They are things that I've tried, I'm currently using in my training and in my racing.